thou wouldest send him to my father's house. For I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them.
Because he knew that his 5 brethren, they're going to go to the same damn place, which is hell. Like I said, this is a parable. Now the hell is really talking about slavery. Because we're going to make it where they're going to be wishing for a drip of water to be in. Because they ain't going to be drinking a lot of water, man. Okay? You ain't going to be drinking a lot of damn water. You're going to be working in that hot-ass sun, too. So he sees how his brothers are. His 5 brothers, are just like him. And he knows that they're going to all wind up in the same place. So he's asking that a spirit in the form of Abraham or any spirit come and say, look, get yourself. Like they made a novel which became a movie. What's this guy, Hans Christian Andersen? Did he write that? Which is the Christmas Carol? Is that Hans Christian Andersen that wrote it? Or Dickens?
Charles Dickens.
It was Charles Dickens. And basically, there's this one guy, I forget his name. You read it as a child, and you watch it in movies and stuff. And I think Scrooge was his name. And anyway, every so many years they remake it. All right? And basically, he was wicked as hell, and the 3 spirits came to him and basically showed him, look, the last spirit that came to him said, look, if you don't get yourself right, you're going to wind up in fire. So basically, Charles Dickens most likely got that from this story right here. And it always had an Edomite play the part of Ebenezer Scrooge, which is a so-called Jew. Right, a so-called Jew. So they're telling you, you better get yourself together. But they're not going to get themselves together. Because let's read on.
It says, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. Abraham saith unto
He said that because he knew how they were wickeder than him. Go ahead.
Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them.
Now, so I say the same thing with New York passing this law. And America, the spirit of America, are passing this law, which is Massachusetts, and all these other states that the federal government in agreement with this law. You have Moses and the prophets. You have the scriptures. So there's no excuse. So when this destruction come on you, you can't say, well, I didn't know. You already knew. And then if you didn't understand the scriptures, we out there on the highways and the byways condemning your ass. And then you stop us from pushing this word out, pushing this truth out. So when this society goes down, you're going to go down hard. And the whole world's going to know it. And we're going to read about it, continue to read about it in Revelation 18. The whole world is going to know about it. Go ahead.
And he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto them from the dead, they will repent. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead.
Yeah, so if a spirit came back from the dead, they ain't going to listen to that spirit. So that if they don't listen to that spirit that's going to come back from the dead, they're not going to follow the scriptures. It tells you a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign. Go ahead.
Back in Revelation 18:7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall the plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong...
And that fire is that nuclear destruction, that mushroom cloud. Go ahead.
For strong is the Lord power who judged her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise any more. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and Arthur ironwood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men.
Right, so you had slavery in a society. You traded vehicles. You exported vehicles all around the world, and perfumes, many things. Go ahead.
It says, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. The merchants also of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, and purple and scarlet, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company.
Yeah, the 1 hour is only going to take 1 hour when those missiles. When those ICBM missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles, come from one continent to the other continent, which is America, Babylon, and release those multiple warheads, that's it for you. Give me the book of Revelation, the 9th chapter, and start at the 13th verse.
Revelation chapter 9, verse 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, Loose the 4 angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates.
Yeah, because all this whole third world war that's going to take place is going to be focused in the Middle East. The valley of Jehoshaphat. Go ahead.
And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men.
Now you notice it said an hour, right? Now let's go back to where we left off.
It says,
and the third part of men represent you Edomites. Go ahead.
Revelation 18:17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships.
Because a lot of people became rich because of America. Go ahead.
Alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea, by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven.
So you got these pastors and these ministers. They'll read the script. Well, they rarely go into the book of Revelation because they don't understand it. But the ones that think they understand it, they go into it and they still don't understand it. Go ahead.
Rejoice over her, thou heaven.
See, they don't understand that when you read these scriptures, you find out who's who or what's what according to a process of elimination. You read about Babylon in the book of Revelation, and the first thing should pop into your head, ancient Babylon. But you say, well, ancient Babylon is destroyed, so it can't be talking about ancient Babylon. Then you might say, well, wait a minute, it's got to be talking about our current day Iraq, because that's where Babylon was geographically. But you say, well, wait a minute, the United States is in there. They got rid of the leader, which was Saddam Hussein, but there was no fire. They didn't totally destroy this place. Now, when you go and read the scriptures about Babylon, it tells you that Babylon was utterly wasted, utterly destroyed, utterly burnt, and that didn't happen to Iraq. All right? So you keep searching in your mind, and then you have to come to the conclusion that it has to be America. And there's a few people out there that know that. One, for example, is Stan Johnson, which he read off about maybe eight scriptures, mainly from the book of Jeremiah, the book of Revelation, Isaiah, and he said all these scriptures that I mentioned refer to America. Now, where did he get that from? We believe he got it from us. Whether he got it from us or not, he was correct in what he was saying when he brought out those scriptures. And you notice they're not bringing Stan Johnson on the news, because these people don't take this seriously, man. You got a lot of these people in this society, these Edomites and Jake, that don't believe in the Most High, and they think the Bible is a fairy tale.